The Nightly Business Report.
Good evening. Tonight, Sri Lanka's exports surged to nearly $10 billion in the first 7 months of the year, showing strong growth across key sectors. SriLankan Airlines to double cargo handling capacity with new state-of-the-art terminal by the end of 2025. The Colombo stock market closes higher with key indices recording notable gains. And Wall Street slips as investors turn cautious ahead of Nvidia results following recent rally.
From Studio 24C, here's Anuradhi Vikramasinghe.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Sri Lanka's export sector showed strong growth in the first 7 months of 2025, reaching nearly $10 billion with a 7.79% increase compared to 2024.
Sri Lanka's export sector demonstrated robust growth in the first 7 months of 2025, reaching nearly $10 billion, a 7.79% increase compared to the same period in 2024. Merchandise exports grew by 7.22%, totaling $7.8 billion, while services exports also rose by 9.86%, reaching over $2.19 billion. Key contributors to this growth included tea, coconut-based products, apparel, and food and beverages, with significant increases in export volumes and values. Despite the overall positive trends, some sectors like spices, rubber products, seafood, and electrical components experienced declines. The Export Development Board highlighted the resilience of exporters and the ongoing efforts to diversify markets and enhance competitiveness.
The government will commence a series of large-scale development projects starting in September, with the first phase launching in Jaffna. Transport Minister Bimal Ratnayaka has announced this, and development work in the northern province will focus on creating a new coconut triangle in the Mullaitivu area of the Vanni region. An international sports complex is set to open in Mandaitivu, Jaffna, as part of these initiatives. The government will also address passport issuance delays in Jaffna by introducing a new online system at the district secretariat. These efforts mark a recovery in 2025 after development projects were stalled during the economic crisis. SriLankan Airlines is set to double its cargo handling capacity at Bandaranaike International Airport by the end of this year, with a new terminal positioning Colombo as a key regional hub for transshipment and e-commerce.
SriLankan Airlines is expanding its cargo handling capacity at the Bandaranaike International Airport, doubling it from 250,000 to over 500,000 metric tons by the end of 2025. The new terminal, already constructed, will focus exclusively on imports, freeing up existing facilities for specialized perishable and e-commerce handling. Sri Lanka's strategic location allows Colombo to attract cargo from India and flights between Australia, Europe, and other regions, positioning it as a regional transshipment hub. The airline also aims to better accommodate growing demand for perishables and e-commerce shipments from platforms like AliExpress and eBay. The reorganization of terminals will improve efficiency and support the country's broader economic growth by boosting imports and transshipment activities through Colombo.
The National Chamber of Exporters of Sri Lanka has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Federation of Indian Export Organizations to strengthen bilateral trade and expand export opportunities. This partnership aims to enhance cooperation, knowledge sharing, and capacity building between Sri Lankan and Indian exporters, boosting their international competitiveness. Supported by the High Commission of India in Colombo, the collaboration leverages the India-Sri Lanka Free Trade Agreement, which provides duty concessions and preferential market access. As part of the initiative, a business delegation and forum will be organized in India to connect exporters and explore new opportunities. The MOU marks a significant step towards deepening regional trade ties and promoting economic growth in both nations. Let's take a short break now. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. The Colombo Stock Exchange ended in positive territory today, with both key indices recording gains. The all-share price index rose by 37.80 points, while the S&P SL 20 gained 23.50 points. For further insights on this, we have Shahana Kanagaratnam from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you, Anuradhi. The Colombo Stock Exchange rebounded from yesterday's profit-taking trend gaining 38 points to close in positive territory at 20,613. The banking sector was the primary driver behind the ASPI's upward movement, with notable contributions from DFCC, Sampath Bank, Commercial Bank, Hatton National Bank, alongside Dialog Asiata. Investor activity remained moderate, with limited participation from both retail and high net worth investors. Market turnover fell to Rs 5.1 billion, representing a 20% decline compared to the monthly average of Rs 6.4 billion. The capital goods sector led turnover contributions with a 23% share, while the banking and diversified financial sectors collectively accounted for 32% of the day's total turnover. Raigam Biosaltans, Madhusima Plantations and Lotus Hydropower emerged as the top gainers, whereas Bukit Dara, Office Equipment and Silinco Holdings posted the largest price declines for the day. Thank you.
Sri Lanka's private sector credit growth continues to show steady momentum, reflecting increased borrowing activity. Meanwhile, liquidity conditions remain stable, supporting economic activity across various sectors. For further insights on this, we have Ranjan Ranatunga from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you, Anuradhi. Credit disbursed to the private sector continued to incline during the month of June, recording a growth of 222.1 billion or 17.9% for the month of June. Considering the surge in credit we saw during the month of June, coupled with the period starting from January to June, we saw private sector credit totaled to 700 billion, that is 8.6% year-to-date growth. Meanwhile, on the state side, state credit grew by 45.8 billion rupees as well in the month of June, while the total state credit from January to June increased by 206.2 billion rupees. So combining both of these, the total credit for the period grew by 906.3 billion rupees or 5.3% year to date between January to June 2025. The increased demand for credit during the concerned period was driven largely by the prevailing low interest rate regime, where the AWPR hovered in the range of 8%, while the economic recovery coupled with the recovery in key business units such as tourism, construction and trade business also contributed towards the growth in credit we saw during the period. Thank you.
Gold prices rose in Asian trade today as safe haven demand was buoyed by increased concerns over Federal Reserve independence after President Donald Trump said he was firing Governor Lisa Cook. Spot gold rose 0.3% to $3,375.29 an ounce, while gold futures for October rose 0.2% to $3,423.95 an ounce. Spot prices briefly hit an over 2-week high of $3,386.49 an ounce. Spot platinum rose 0.1% to $1,346.40 an ounce, while spot silver rose 0.7% to $38.85 an ounce. Both metals outpaced gold in recent months as years of underperformance saw traders seek buying opportunities in other precious metals. Among industrial metals, benchmark copper futures on the London Metal Exchange rose 0.7% to $9,848.85 a ton, while COMEX copper futures rose 0.4% to $4,550 a pound. Oil prices eased in Asian trading today, giving up some of the previous session's gains as traders weighed the prospect of additional U.S. sanctions on Russia against signs of progress in peace efforts to end the war in Ukraine. Brent oil futures expiring in October fell 0.5% to $68.46 per barrel, while West Texas Intermediate crude futures declined 0.6% to $64.44 per barrel. Both contracts had risen nearly 2% on Monday after Ukrainian drone strikes on Russian oil and gas infrastructure stoked supply concerns. But oil prices remain supported as early optimism over a potential Russia-Ukraine ceasefire continues to wane, where additional U.S. curbs on Russian oil could further provide a boost. The Sri Lankan rupee has depreciated further against the US dollar today compared to yesterday. According to the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, the buying rate of the US dollar has increased from 298 rupees and 23 cents to 298 rupees and 47 cents, while the selling rate has also increased from 305 rupees and 76 cents to 306 rupees and 1 cent. However, the Sri Lankan rupee has appreciated against a basket of foreign currencies, while it has also depreciated against Gulf currencies. Let's take a closer look now on how the Sri Lankan rupee has performed among other major currencies. Short break now. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. DFCC Bank has marked a major digital milestone by onboarding Prime Group as its first corporate client on the iConnect API banking platform. This pioneering integration brings real-time payments and automated reconciliation to Sri Lanka's real estate sector.
DFCC Bank successfully onboarded Prime Group as the first corporate client on its iConnect platform via API connectivity, marking a key milestone in its digital transformation. 3 Prime Group companies, Prime Lands, Prime Residences and Prime Constructions, are now live with API-based vendor payments. Prime Lands has further adopted API-based statements and virtual accounts, introducing Sri Lanka's first fully automated digital deposit and payment tracking system in the real estate sector. These innovations replace older host-to-host systems, enabling real-time integration, improve reconciliation, and enhance operational efficiency.
AB Maori Lanka has been honoured with the prestigious Target Zero Safety Award 2023-2024 under the Safety Performance category, recognising its outstanding commitment to health and safety. The company's long-term initiatives, including Project SAFE and the Leading for Safety program, have significantly improved its safety score from 11% to 96%, ranking it among the top 10 globally within the AB Maori network. With full participation in safety improvement reports and over 20 annual health and safety walks, AB Maori Lanka maintains a proactive and comprehensive safety strategy. The organization also emphasizes community and stakeholder engagement through educational events, customer partnerships, and family-focused activities like art competitions. This award highlights AB Maori Lanka's position as a leader in safety excellence, both within its operations and across the wider industry. Mahindra Ideal Finance Limited has introduced a new revolving business loan to support multi-brand vehicle importers and SMEs across Sri Lanka. The facility offers flexible, repeatable credit access to address short-term working capital challenges.
Mahindra Ideal Finance Limited has launched the MIFL Revolving Business Loan, a tailored credit solution aimed at supporting multi-brand vehicle importers and SME business owners across Sri Lanka. This facility addresses key challenges such as irregular cash flows, delayed receivables, and the need for quick working capital to manage inventory. With a one-time approval process, the loan offers a flexible credit line that can be drawn and repaid multiple times, streamlining access to funds. MIFL emphasizes its strong long-term relationships with importers and SMEs as central to its growth strategy.
Prime Group has launched Prime Premier, Sri Lanka's first bespoke luxury real estate client experience initiative, marking its 30th anniversary. Located at Late Drive, Colombo 8, the facility offers a refined, technology-enabled environment where clients can explore real estate opportunities at their own pace. Prime Premier sets a new benchmark in the industry, showcasing Prime Group's continued leadership and innovation. Designed to foster lasting client relationships, that reinforces company's reputation as a trusted advisor in luxury real estate. Through this strategic investment, Prime Group reaffirms its commitment to excellence, client satisfaction, and progressive transformation in the sector. People's Bank has launched the Yes Cash Carnival to celebrate International Youth Day, offering over 4.5 million rupees in prizes. The initiative encourages youth savings through exciting draws and cash rewards.
People's Bank is celebrating International Youth Day by launching the Yes Cash Carnival, offering customers over 4.5 million rupees in prizes until 30th September 2025. To enter Cash Wheel Monday, customers must deposit 25,000 rupees into a Yes savings account with a chance for teams of 5 to win 65,000 rupees. Up to 35 teams can win over 2 million rupees. The share and win draw requires participants to share a specific Facebook post and submit proof online, with 10 winners every 5 days receiving 10,000 rupees each. For the grand prize, customers must deposit 50,000 rupees and maintain the balance until January 1st, 2026 for a chance to win 2.5 million rupees or be one of the 25 winners of 100,000 rupees.
Let's take a short commercial break. Global business updates coming on the other side. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. Most Asian stocks retreated today as a rally on optimism over US interest rate cuts ran dry, while investors remained averse to technology shares in anticipation of key earnings from Nvidia. China's Shanghai Shenzhen CSI 300 and Shanghai Composite indexes rose about 0.1% each. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index fell 0.2% from a near 4-year high. Japan and South Korean markets logged the biggest losses among their Asian peers. The Nikkei 225 and Topics indexes lost around 0.9% each, while the Kospi shed 1%. Singapore's Straits Times Index fell 0.3% and India's Nifty 50 Index fell 0.7% in morning trade. Wall Street stocks ended lower as investors passed the outlook for US interest rates and looked ahead to AI chipmaker Nvidia's quarterly earnings this week.
U.S. stocks ended lower on Monday, with the Dow losing more than 0.75%, the S&P 500 shedding more than 0.4%, and the Nasdaq ticking down by about 0.2%. The slide came after a Friday jump that saw the Dow notch a record-high close after U.S. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell hinted that an interest rate cut could come in September. Nvidia climbed 1% ahead of its quarterly report on Wednesday, which will be one of Wall Street's most closely watched events of the week and a crucial test of the scorching AI trade. Other stocks on the move included Keurig Dr. Pepper, which tumbled 11.5% after saying it would buy JDE Peet's for $18.4 billion in cash. And furniture retailers RH and Wayfair each declined more than 5% after President Trump on Friday said his administration would investigate import tariffs on furniture.
Korean Air announced a huge $50 billion order for 103 Boeing planes as well as GE Aerospace engines and servicing. The announcement came alongside South Korean President Lee Jae-myung's visit to Washington this week.
Korean Air announced a huge $50 billion order for 103 Boeing planes, as well as GE Aerospace engines and servicing on Monday. The announcement came alongside South Korean President Lee Jae-myung's visit to Washington this week. This is the airline's biggest order for planes to date and includes Boeing 787s, 777s, and 737s, all valued at about $36.5 billion. Korean Air also announced a separate $13.7 billion GE deal for engine purchases and maintenance. Several countries in trade talks with the Trump administration have announced or planned major Boeing orders. Korean Air CEO Cho Won-tae told Reuters the historic order will let his airline expand routes to the US, Latin America, and South America. He said the company had faith in Boeing despite its prior troubles, and that about half of the 103 jets are 737 MAX 10s, and roughly 80% will replace existing aircraft. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick told Reuters the major Boeing and GE deal would boost US aerospace exports. Boeing said the order will support Korean Air's integration with Asiana Airlines, acquired last year.
And that wraps up today's Nightly Business Report. We value your opinion as always, so please share your thoughts and feedback with us through email at feedback.ad24english@derana.lk or via WhatsApp at 076-805-7933. We'll see you again tomorrow with the latest updates across the business globe. Vinod Surya will meet you next with other Derana Sports Central. And until then, I'm Anuradhi Vikramasinghe. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good night.